One thing people often get wrong about European colonial history is imagining it began in 1492. But what if it actually began nearly 500 years earlier and with a different kind of explorer? This man, Leif Erikson, is celebrated by some as the first European to reach North America around the year 1000 CE. Norse sagas speak of Vinland, a lush place believed to be part of what's now Newfoundland, Canada. Archaeological evidence from Lance aux Meadows supports this, suggesting small Viking settlements existed centuries before Columbus even set sail. But here's where things get complicated, because these early encounters didn't spark massive conquest or long-term settlement. Some see that as proof Norse explorers were less destructive, more curious than conquerors. Others argue differently. The Vikings didn't last in North America not because they were peaceful, but because indigenous communities successfully pushed them out. Was their brief attempt a failed colonization, or a rare moment when an indigenous defense truly held off European expansion? The Norse saw the local peoples, whom they called Skrælings, as obstacles rather than equals. Saga writers describe tense trade interactions turning into sporadic violence and retreat. These texts raise disturbing questions about whose side gets preserved in stories we repackage today as folklore or exploration. Why do we teach children about Vikings as fun pirates with horned helmets, but rarely mention how those adventures almost rewrote hemispheric history? And what happens when we romanticize short-lived colonies simply for not succeeding at empire? Modern Scandinavia embraces Leif Erikson Day each October in parts of Europe and the US, framing him as a proto-American hero. But who gets erased from that narrative? And does earlier arrival change anything if it brought similar intentions? Some historians suggest this early incursion reshapes debates around first contact. Can there be a colonizer without colonization? Does failed empire absolve ambition once aimed directly at lands already inhabited? And most hauntingly, was history kinder to Leif because his people left, or because their failure lets us forget they came with swords too? If colonial legacies are more than simple durations on maps, do intentions matter just as much? Is our love for Vikings based on archaeology, or on letting ourselves rehearse colonial myth without its full implications? Let us know what you think below. Did Leif Erikson pave a different path, or just foreshadow one that would hit harder 5 centuries later?